what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Shedeur can put up Heisman Trophy numbers if these things happen, but these things got to take place first before he put up Heisman numbers. Let's talk about it. Stay tuned. So can Shedeur win the Heisman Trophy? I was just having a conversation with a good friend of mine about this. He said, what about Shedeur for the Heisman? And I said, you know what? He can win the Heisman. And I was just thinking about his numbers from last year. And that's the first thing. Before we talk about the Heisman, a few things got to happen. Well, first of all, he got to put up big numbers as far as passing yards, all-purpose yards, so on and so forth, right? Everybody does that, right? But a few things here, this must take place. The offensive line got to do their part. When I think about the Heisman Trophy, back in the day, Ricky Williams, the host of others, that won the Heisman Trophy, Charlie Ward, they didn't do it by themselves. In fact, here's a fun fact. Orlando Pace, he was an offensive lineman. Did you know he was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy? Did you know that? That's a Heisman Trophy trivia for you. And also, did you know Sebastian Janikowski, a kicker from Florida State, was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy? Some of you may not have known that, but that is true. So it's a total team effort here. The offensive line, first and foremost, the offensive line has to do their part. When we think of quarterbacks winning the Heisman Trophy, you got to look at their offensive line. The offensive line is not often talked about. You don't talk about the offensive line too much unless the quarterback is getting sacked or they're not doing something right on the field. In fact, you're not even talking about the center that much. But these are vital positions in order for a quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy. And just speaking of Shedeur Sanders, his offensive line got to step up this year. They have a freshman at left tackle this year in Jordan Seaton, 5-star out of IMG Academy. They also have a right tackle that transferred in this year, Khalil Benson. They have a sophomore center, Hank Zelinkus, that I think is more than capable of the job because he had an uncle and I believe his brother as well that plays center in college. So he comes from a long lineage of centers, so he know the fundamentals. So I'm not worried about him. But they got to play their part. It goes hand in hand. Quarterback, offensive line. What else have to take place? They have to win. Okay, that should have been first. They have to win. But before they win, we have to go back to address the problems from last year, which is offensive line and defensive line. But for the sake of offense, like I said, the wide receivers play their part as well. But you got to win. Okay, you got to win. I would say 10 games. I would say if they get to 10 games, I would say they're close to the playoffs. Or if they can get to the Big 12 championship and win the Big 12 championship, they're now in the playoffs. Now we're talking Heisman Trophy. We'll get to Travis on another video. But you got to win because we're going to look at other Heisman finalists around the country. And I look at Heisman finalists of yesteryear or in the past. The common denominator is they have won something. You got to win. And in order for them to win, those problems that they had last year must be fixed. So those things got to take place before we talk about him winning the Heisman. And in order to put up Heisman numbers, the offensive line, right? Third is more than likely the receivers. The receivers got to play their part as well. In order for, this to go right. The receivers got to do their part. It's what's good is the quarterback throwing big numbers if the receivers don't catch the ball, right? I think that goes without saying. But Shedeur is talked about for the Heisman. You hear his name come up a lot and a few other quarterbacks around the country, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Shedeur. And I think really it comes down to winning. And the last thing is to put up the big numbers if everything is working on all cylinders. Those numbers have to be put up. And I think he is capable of putting up the big numbers. Why? Last year he threw for over 3,000 yards with all the problems. Imagine if there's little problems. How many yards you think he would throw up? It'll be like some type of record, man. I think so. If he go for some type of record number of yards, which I think he's capable of, then sky's the limit at that point. Now you have him in talks of maybe possibly being the finalist for the Heisman Trophy. If they get to a bowl game, remember, this is their second year. It's more impressive because it's their second year. It's their second year of this foundation building here. They get to the playoffs. Oh, that's big. You know, I could see if this was their fourth year, if this was Coach Prime's fourth or fifth year of operation. No, this is second year. This is still rebuilding. You mean to tell me a second year team that put most of the team together in the transfer portal and this kid throws for over whatever, how many record number of yards? And then on top of it, just have a huge year. That's going to be the most impressive thing in college football in a long time. It'll be like a movie has been written. It'll be something out of a storybook, something of legend at that point. Then he will be a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. But all those things got to take place. That's my opinion. What say you? What has to take place in order for Shedeur to be mentioned in the finalists for the Heisman Trophy? I'm curious to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think must happen. Guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching, guys. But before you go, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit the bell notification so you can get updated on my latest content as it drops. If you have any video ideas, feel free to leave a comment below. Take care.